Good evening, everybody. It is Manifesting with Meg, Conversations with Extraordinary People, episode number 68. And tonight, I'm so excited to share with you special guest and author, Dr. Cecilia Shaw, or for all those who know her by her book, The Spell, C.V. Shaw. This is episode 68, When You Pray, Move Your Feet, all about May and awakening creativity. So that's what we're all going to talk about tonight. This is a show about transformation, dreams, and inspiration, true happiness, discovering bliss. And it's time to manifest our dreams because we're all steps away of living and attaining actual bliss. Just got to keep walking. So good evening, Dr. Cecilia. Can I call you Ceci? Because that's what I call you.
Of course. Everybody calls me Ceci.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to have you here.
Me too.
I am even more excited to say that, this is a conversation that I don't know could have happened 10 years ago by virtue of the fact that I wasn't sure if I would be able to be walking this journey that I'm walking. And I have a lot of the healing to do, the healing process to relate or to do with you. So I'm so excited to share you with the world. This is a show about intentions. So clearly my intention is to bring your beautiful light to everyone tonight. In addition, I ask you to set yours as well. At the end of the show, we go back to the intention and I ask you to pick a number in the Magical Guide to Bliss and we'll read from there, and whatever passage of that you actually speaks to you, then we're going to go from there. But I'd like to introduce your magnificence tonight, if I may. She is not only the author behind The Spell, she's a great believer in magic and imagination, my favorite kind of people. She's a doctor of Oriental medicine and a quantum energy practitioner, holding her alternative medicine practice out of South Miami. She has published work in How to Survive Your Teenager, which I think we all might need. Real Women Write, Living on COVID Time, a very, very amazing story. Read it myself. Story Circle Journal, Miami Herald Neighbors, and Club Systems International. She's a South Floridian natively, which is something that's really wonderful because she gets to bring all the culture of South Florida to all of you. So there's so much more I could say about this beautiful person and her gifts and her gift to me, but I am going to open it up to Ceci now and share with us anything that I missed. I'm so excited to have you here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Meg. I think I'm more excited than you are.
I don't think it's possible. I literally when I have these conversations and I get to actually talk to them, and I feel like this is like a little gift to me, especially if I made it through Wednesday or Monday or Tuesday or Thursday, whatever. I get to have these, and one of the coolest things about the theme for today is that it really means something to me. And I think that when I was going over the process of setting up this whole interview with you, and I had to do my research and my work behind it, I was like, God, what more empowering words, because I'm between the surrendering process, which you've always said to me, sometimes you just have to accept, and that's the beginning of the healing, right? And then also, when you pray, you just can't sit there and just think everything's going to happen for you. You got to move your feet. So today's quote is, when you pray, move your feet. It's an African proverb, and it speaks to this. Frustration occurs when we find ourselves stuck in difficult circumstances for quite some time. Instead of moving through, we feel trapped in the state of hopelessness. Although we seek positive change, even praying for it to come, each morning we wake feeling destined to repeat bad patterns. While prayer is powerful and can move mountains, begging for a miraculous shift must be coupled with action that will deliver us out of the uncomfortable situations we find ourselves in. Loosening the grip of stagnation on our lives does not require a grand gesture. I love that because it's incremental movement forward. All we need to do is take one baby step after another towards the light of our dreams. When we pray, then move our feet through the challenge. As the wind changes start to blow, hope returns, bringing back a sense of hope and optimism for our dreams. We set a new course built on creative insight that comes from a newly minted approach to life. And I love that this is our last episode of May, for one, and for two, that I get to share in this magic sense or notion of the world with you. So what are your thoughts on that? And tell me, I'd love to hear how you've gotten to this point in your life, because you are magical for sure.
Oh, thanks, Meg. Okay, well, regarding the African proverb, the way that I see it, when you say move your feet, when I read that, and you just mentioned that again, when what I see is actually moving my feet, like swimming into the depth of whatever situation it is that we're stuck in.
Oh, I love
You know,
that.
swimming deeper, kicking harder so we can get to the root so that we can sort of decipher it and figure out what the problem is so we can befriend it, so we can embrace it, so we can honor it, so we can find the lesson in it. And after we're done doing that, that difficult situation is not a difficult situation anymore. It's just a situation.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. When you say move your feet, I just see myself, diving in head first and, confronting it.
So you're clearly a swimmer.
I am clearly not a swimmer. I've had many near drowning experiences in my life, in my own pool,
You know what comes up when you're saying that? I remember a long time ago you said to me, when we sit with our problems and we don't want them anymore, if anyone threw them back into the ocean again, you would jump for your own once more, because I think I got that correct as far as that's concerned. I think that's the whole idea behind quantum healings, right? And you had said, or at least body talk for that matter. So I don't know if you can speak a little bit more to that, but I think it's fascinating. It's because we know our own things. We know, we've made friends with them. Like you said, you befriend them and then you can navigate accordingly. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I think that a lot of the times, most people think that we have to get past a problem or past a situation, and not realizing that that situation is part of the process. And you can't get away from it. You can pretend to get away from it, right? You can pretend, you can figure out like some resolve to it. But if you didn't do the work, it's going to come back in a different person, in a different situation, in a different form. Yeah. And then you're going to have to deal with it again when you could have just, faced it from the beginning and gotten rid of it, right?
I totally agree with you. I think that if, sometimes the lessons in life, when they show up over and over again and you don't learn them, you're like, okay, this time I'm going to do it because I can't do this anymore. It's too exhausting. I would rather new creative content to add to my mix for sure. And that's what it's like from what you're saying. So, oh, by the way, Berta's saying our grandmother wanted no swimming lessons for these two Cubanitas, but somehow Dr. Ceci's a certified scuba diver, which I love that. So clearly you do know how to swim. Absolutely.
Well, but Meg, you know why? You know why I became a scuba diver? Because it was one of my biggest fears in life is going into deep water and the sea animals and sharks and barracudas. I had such a fear that I forced myself to become a scuba diver so I could get over that fear. I literally, you know what I just said before, I literally did that. I literally dove into the depth and cleared that fear.
Wow. It does kind of follow with you. You definitely walk your talk for sure. I think that one of the things you told me is you have to face what's in front of you. You can't run from it. And that is one of the things that people generally tend to do, is run from it and can't understand why it's still showing up. It's like, wherever you go, there you are, that kind of mentality. And it's like, seriously, you face it, it goes away. I've heard that many times, the impressive nature that, is dissipates when you see it for what it is, not the illusions we create in our mind. So, tell me about your magical side and this whole idea about you writing the spell. I mean, that's the name of your book. Hang on one second. I want to put it up so everyone can see it. Okay. But this wonderful book called The Spell. And certainly, from ever since I've known you, I know that you've been a writer forever, especially of short stories. This is your first book, and I think it's a year this week that it's been out. So I'm so excited.
26.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And during, I always say there's a reason for everything, so that it came out during the pandemic. I think that's even more special because you can actually, we know that we're going to see this girl in a book launch soon when the world opens up again fully. But tell me about the story behind you becoming a published author.
Well, Meg, that was what I always wanted to do. Writing is my passion. I've been writing for forever. Right, even since I was a little girl, I still have my collection of poetry with me, the silly little poems. And I actually started writing my first novel. How old is Jimmy? 20. So 20 years ago. I never finished it. I just found it and just had it transferred because it was still on a floppy disk.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
For all of you, that floppy disk, that is from another time. Computers did not look like computers.
So I've always loved to write. And then, I I got into some writing, writing for publications, journalism type of reporting. And that's not what I wanted to do. And especially I was so turned off with editors changing your angles and changing your words, changing your story, and you have no control. But what I wanted to do was creative writing. I love to write fiction because it's just creating another world that can never, ever, ever be uncreated. Those characters could never not exist. Anybody who reads a story, that world, those characters, you've created something into the universe, right? And it brings a lot of healing, and everybody perceives it different, and it means different things to different people, but it makes a difference in people's lives. And I don't mean just my book. I mean all books, especially fiction books. Well, all books really, because your books make a difference as well. To the healing is what I'm talking about. The spell, I actually was bored, and I started writing a poem, because that's what I do. I'm always writing in my head. If I see something weird happening, I observe something, strange that happened, that's it. I mean, I've created the ending to that story, and it usually is going to end with, it's going to be mortal, right? It's going to be just because that's the way my mind goes. But I was looking at this beautiful forestry, and I thought, I wonder what could be on the other side, right? And I just started, writing, and it was just a silly poem, but it just kept going and going and going and going. I'm like, oh, this is getting good. And then stuff started sort of pouring in, and started getting these downloads that it's like, oh, that did not come from me, but I'm going to keep. And I wrote the spell by hand.
Oh, I love that.
Because there's an energy. I felt just this energy that just sort of kept me writing. So I could have done it on a computer, but I thought I feel like I'm going to break that energy, that momentum, if I don't continue it on that same pad that I was writing in.
Yeah.
So it was a poem to begin with, and it turned, 7 months later, pretty much to the day, it was a book.
So now Suzanne Simonetti said she's enchanted by the title, The Spell. Tell me a little bit about the title and that beautiful cover of yours. That's so ethereal, at the same time mystical, at the same time magical.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a shout out to Karen Taylor. She might be on here. I think she is, because Karen Taylor, she's an artist, and she is the one that helped me. Well, she's the one that designed. I told her what I wanted, and she's just magical. She literally did this in less than a day. After we had other trials that my publisher didn't like, and I would show it to her, and she would just look at me like,
yeah.
And okay, but what's wrong with it? So she didn't 100% agree on this one, but it was okay, because this one I fell in love with the way Karen did it. And in the story, a lot of what takes place is in a forest, right? And there's magic and enchantment in these different forests. So that was, the background. And then, of course, we know that there's an arrow involved, right? And that's why there's an arrow under the spell. And it's about a royal family. It's about a royal family. And the title, the spell, it's because I always say that, the spell is like an entity that just took over the castle, took over all the inhabitants, took over so many lives, that it literally demanded its name be the title of this book. That's how large the energy of this spell was. So that's the name of it, The Spell.
So Christina de la Maza says that she loves this cover, and it is absolutely beautiful. Plus, it feels like you, Ceci. It feels like you. And I love that you're talking about energy right now, because that has always been so important. At least, how we met, and the way that you do heal other people is through energy. I feel so blessed to have crossed paths with you, because you are a very talented healer, and you do help the person process how they feel, so they can feel confident in that space that you bring to them, that magical spell that perhaps you put on them. I don't know. I'm wondering. But, I think that the interesting thing is that, we write what speaks most to us, and then we'll find our audience. And I think that literally with you, you said the story is about a royal family, and that is the story you decided to tell, about this beautiful enchanted forest. But is that something that you always wanted to experience yourself, enchantment in the world? Because that is you. That's magical you.
I love it. I'm going to tell you, let me tell you something that happened after the book was published. And I realized this after, and I was blown away. I had a past life regression many many years ago, and it was in a castle. And I was sitting, I was one of the royals and I was young, but I was sitting in the kitchen with the help, right? I was sitting like on the table. I remember it very perfectly. And I don't remember much of it, right? Because this was such a long time ago. But after I wrote it, after it was published, I realized, oh my God, I think I just rewrote that past life.
Well, explain everybody what past life regression is, because perhaps people on this feed don't understand what that is. I can't imagine people that follow me don't know that, but I would love to give them some information so that they could use it, because it's very helpful sometimes in the healing process to go through past life regression.
It absolutely is, because when we have unresolved issues, right, the memory of that unresolved issue, if it still has an emotional charge to it, it has to be resolved for the sake of the universe, right? Because remember, we're all one and it's all energy. And so if it's not resolved in a lifetime, it comes through when you come back again and you're supposed to resolve it, right? And yeah, that's how it
I totally believe you. And the reality is, I keep saying to myself, I better deal with this now, because if I do come back again, I have to deal with this. I won't enjoy it very much the second, third, fourth time around. So I totally agree. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Keep going.
No, that's okay. So we bring it back with us. We bring it back with us so that we can have another chance of resolving it.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that, it's never over, as far as our own journeys go. And Christina's talking about magical mindscape therapy. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well? I would love to.
Oh, yeah. That's my Mindscape class that I teach.
Yes.
The Mindscape class that's a magical class. That really is. That course is it's a 3-day course. I've been doing it over Zoom through the pandemic, and hopefully 2021 I'll be doing it in person again, because we have so much fun. It's so magical. It's a lot of fun, but it's very, very deep as well. And in that course, we teach you to connect to the universal hologram, to 0 point field. That's where all the information resides, past, present, future. Everything that has ever existed resides, right? And it resides within us, because the universe is in us. If we want to go deeper, I can, but I don't know if we have enough time. But so in this class, we teach you how to connect by using the right side of the brain, getting into the alpha state, alpha brainwave, and which is between theta and beta. It's like when you're just waking up or just falling asleep. And when you're in that relaxation and that wave, you can connect to that holographic field, and you can literally connect to any information that you need, past, present, and future. And then the course also teaches you how to scan, how to heal. It teaches you, most importantly, something that's so important is it allows you to go into your own subconscious and do some healing there. Because we respond to life from our subconscious, right? That's what drives our conscious. So we're able to bridge the subconscious to the conscious and heal that.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That right there is huge.
That's huge. And everyone's saying it's the best class ever. It's very powerful. But Suzanne's indicating that she's not coming back, so she better get it right in this lifetime. Amazing. I want to share with everybody some amazing quotes that inspire you, which really I love these. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to use this stuff because it's awesome. But the reality is I know, I wanted to speak once before I start with this on when I was working, and you're one of my wonderful therapists in my life, and I am very grateful. I remember when you were helping me work through the tinnitus. And I remember you had me with acupuncture, and also you were doing the body talk with me. I had a visual of a guillotine where I was having a lot of issues with my throat, with my throat chakra. But the guillotine, it chopped my friggin' head off. And I was like, holy crap, what happened, But the reality is I don't know if that, literally, I don't know if that was something I made up in my head or not. But the reality was that's probably what happened. I probably spoke loudly and I got my head chopped off for it. But now I'm come back again and I have a different platform. I have a different way I can speak that I can. And I think that, ultimately when you talk about the magic of believing, is that I truly believe that what you say here, believe in yourself, and the universe is forced to believe in you, because in this life, whatever, if you believe it or not, I've been given a very powerful speaking space. And I think that you have too, with regard to your writing, with regard to your healing, with your mindscape. So, and I wanted to say, you are going to have the mindscape class this summer again.
Yeah. I'm going to have one on Zoom coming this summer, and hopefully in the fall, we'll do one in person again.
And you said they can go to quantumenergymed.com to get all information. So that's QUANTUM, energy, ENERGY, med.com to check it out, because it does sound fascinating. I might have to jump onto that because I always need my hit of Ceci. So, but tell me a little bit about the magic of believing, because I think that, I'm a real believer, and I always think, oh, you're so disillusioned, you don't know what you're talking about. But this is so powerful, what you're speaking to tonight, because I think that is really where the magic sauce comes from, is the belief. So tell me a little bit about this and what this means to you.
You mean the quote?
With the quote, yeah, absolutely. Well, if you want me to read it for you, well, go ahead, you do it.
I'm dating myself now. Oh, believe in the universe, and the universe will believe in you, because you have no other choice. I mean, if you believe in yourself that much, it's like the universe is like, well, okay, then we got to go with it. It's just like everything else. It's like a person with, a real good self-esteem, or, high self-confidence. And they could maybe not know what the hell they're talking about, but if they can give, you know what I'm saying? If they can talk it like they know what they're saying, people are going to believe them. It's almost like the same thing, And, when you believe in something wholeheartedly, I'm talking about 100%, not 1% less. When you believe something wholeheartedly, it's going to happen, because that frequency is what sets that vibration and sets the manifestation. That's what makes it manifest, is that frequency. It's that vibration going, just like when you speak, right? What are you speaking? What are those words? It's just vibrating energy communicating to you, and now you hear me, right? So if you don't hear my words, well, I mean, we have sign language, but and I wanted to ask you for a glass of water, right? How could I ask you how could I communicate that with you, right? And then you're going to give it to me. So it's almost like the same thing.
I love that.
It's all frequency, it's all vibration, it's all energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. And you know what? The last thing I want to find out when I graduate to the next plane is for them to say, you could have actually had everything you wanted had you just believed.
Oh my God. I think
I want to find that out later.
So, I mean, if anyone believes tonight with anything less than this, start believing in the magic of you, because that's what she's saying. It's forcing, the universe is forced to believe in you. So you show up that way. It's a totally different, and I truly know her words are real. They're valid. And Suzanne's saying, vibration and energy, it absolutely is. Words are so powerful that way. But imagine if you actually matched it with that vibration. Amazing. So this is another one I love, because I love my tiaras. I'm not a princess. I don't need saving. I'm a queen. I got this shit handled. I mean, clearly, for anyone who needs to hear that, Ceci, go for it. What does that mean to you?
I find that I am so much stronger when I figure it out for myself, rather than I used to be a codependent. And sometimes I look back and it's like, shame on you. And it's like, well, I didn't know any better, right? We gotta love ourselves more, right? And be more gentle with ourselves. But it's like, my God, when I sometimes get tempted to like ask a male for help, right? Because there's something that I just can't do. Yeah. And it's like, you know what? I will hire somebody to do something for me. I'd rather, and I know that the money will come because the universe has my back always, right? Yeah. And so I'm going to do this on my own. I've got this. And I mean, that's just one example, but yeah, I got this shit.
The thing is, when you are surrounded by people like you in your life, and I know I'm a testament to that, because, Meg, wake up. Look who's around you. These people got their shit handled. Like, so obviously you're attracting that in your life, in your own life. And maybe you're still, needing that little convincing, but you've got this as well. So that, more of us that kind of feed into that energy into others, we kind of blossom together, and we can stick our damn tears on all we want and just walk it, because literally that is how we show up to life. And this one, oh my God, difference is good. So don't fit in. Don't sit still. Don't ever try to be less than you are. Boom, Angelina Jolie. So talk to me. This is gorgeous.
Well, I mean, you know, my mantra for many years has been, you know, when I meditate, it's like, I am Angelina Jolie. I am Angelina Jolie.
I love you. Oh my God. Look at it.
She's awesome. I mean, I wish I had the balls she has.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I admire her. And it's just be all you, full fledged, full fledged. Who gives a F what anybody thinks about how you handle your life and how, what you do with your life, you know? People actually respect and admire you more when you don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. They really do.
I love
They
it.
absolutely really do. It's like, ooh, yeah. So yeah, don't ever be less.
You know what? And these are
You unapologetically you all the
oh
time.
my God. And literally when someone allows you that freedom, the peace of just showing up as you are overwhelms and takes over. And my God, we need more of you in this world. So don't ever be less than who you are. And I totally, that is something that that is you. Clearly you're channeling your mantra well, because that is how you show up, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, right? That is absolutely how you show up. And then we have this, which I love Ram Dass. He's amazing. Be here now. Tell me a little bit about what this means to you. So powerful in those three little words.
Yes, yes. Be here now. I love Ram Dass too. Rest in peace. He just left us not too long ago. And it's just be present. Just be present. Feel everything. You know, we spend so much time dwelling on the past, focusing on the future. That doesn't mean, you know, don't think about your past, learn from your past, because we got to remember some stuff so we don't make the same mistakes again, right?
Yeah,
but you know, we got to keep that part. There's actually a part in the brain for that does that. I balance it in many people. And another thing is not to focus so much on the future. Yeah, you can make plans, but you can't be so full into your making plans. So who is it? Is it John Lennon that says, you know, God laughs while you're making plans?
Oh yeah.
I mean, make some plans, but you can't be in there because it doesn't exist. The future's not there. The past is not there. All we have is right here, right now. And right here, right now, with all the problems that you might have had in the past, all the problems that you are anticipating that you're going to have in the future, there's no problem this very second. This very second, there's no problem because you're there and I'm right here, and nothing else is happening. Nothing else is happening. Just be here now. Enjoy the present moment.
I mean, nothing more powerful than that, because the reality is that these exchange of words with each other, for me, is this something wonderful that I always hope for. You know, it's to be in the sacred space with someone who shares their magic with me. And what a gift to actually fully be present for that. That's one of the things that I think about you, that speaks loudly, louder than words. It's how you honor the space when you are with people. And that, I think, is a beautiful expression of humanity to another. And you live these words too, the be here now. And you're like, slow down, come back. Slow down, come back to yourself, come back to who you are. And then we have my I was like, you know, like, oh, you're definitely related to Bertha. Oh my God. Love yourself. Be who you were before all that stuff happened that dimmed your fucking shine. Oh my God. Okay, honey, go ahead, speak. Speak.
And that's what it is. I mean, we let so many external shit and people's opinions and situations just dim our light, and we forget who we are. We forget who we were. And you know what I do? I have to tell you, I mean, it happens to all of us. I mean, I'm not perfect by any, you know, stretch of the word. But when I feel like something is going to get me down, I have a playlist. I have a playlist of songs that remind me who I was before somebody dimmed my fucking light, and I turn that shit up full blast. I'm unstoppable. I'm right back. I'm right back. Yeah. You better watch out because get out of my way.
You know, you know, I think that those are the tools that we come up with in our lives to remind us when we need to hear it most, are those triggers that say, oh, no. Listen. And I think when you actually feel the goosebumps all over your body when, you know, things happen that, you know, you're right back there again. And Christina's saying, please share this playlist. Apparently, we've got people who want to rock out with you in this world. I do, that's for sure. But, you know, maybe I know you love Sia for sure. You said Unstoppable. So
Oh, Sia is one of them. Sia is, oh, you know, my favorite from Sia, the one that I play really loud is I'm Alive.
Great song.
Oh my God.
I'm Alive is going to be your number one when you feel like you're not seen in this world. Go ahead and play it. It's a great song for sure. For sure. So maybe you'll share some more later with us, and perhaps you know, we can all scream with you and pretend that we're with you know having those moments of zen as the music takes us back to who we are when we let other things happen that dimmed our fucking shine because there's no time for you to dim your shine. So I'm loving that you said that. Now, one of the things I think that I wanted to touch upon tonight, certainly because I have you here, is going back to the magic again, right? And then how you tell your story through magical eyes. And I'm not saying magic and totally the woo-woo, but not necessarily not saying that either, because, you know, it's like the whole thing behind the Einstein quote, you know, if you think the world is filled with miracles, then you will see the miracles the world is filled with. And I know that I badgered that once again, but the reality is you will get what you're looking for. And if you're looking for magic in your world, then you'll find it. I love the fact that you wrote a book called The Spell. So tell me a little bit more about that, because I'm feeling that the people who are on tonight literally are looking for more magic in their lives.
It's all magic. Okay? I mean, do you realize that we're not like, and I say this a lot, so those who have heard it from me, I apologize. I don't apologize, actually. Listen to it again. Okay. So, I mean, you realize that we're not like somewhere down here looking up at the stars. You realize that we are literally on a floating globe in the center of the solar system, not in the center, the sun's in the center, but you know what I'm saying. In the galaxy, we're in space right now.
Oh, I love it.
Sitting on a globe, on a round globe, and nobody's falling off, and the globe is not falling down with as much as it weighs, right? It's a perfect system. If that is possible, if that's not magic in itself, then what is it? Like, what are we doing? I mean, we are literally cosmic beings. We are in the center of the universe, in the galaxy, in the center of other universes. And I mean, this isn't the only universe. There's many more universes. There's many galaxies. There's billions and gazillions of beautiful, sparkly, shiny stars. We are cosmic bodies. We're not down here on the bottom looking up at the stars. We're in the middle of everything. And if that in itself is not magic, for crying out loud, you can have a human inside your body. That's not magic. I mean, if that's possible, anything is possible. We're cosmic beings. We are magical as it is. Anything is possible. We have it in us. We have it in us. I mean, I was seeing this beautiful, beautiful girl who wanted to get on stage with Oprah. And I literally waved my wand playing around, but I did it with so much joy and so much fun, because that's what really raises your frequency to make things manifest is joy and fun. Yeah. And that chick got up on stage with Oprah.
Yeah, we both were like, oh my God, what wand was that? Oh my God. But you're absolutely right. I think that, and that goes back to your statement about the magic of believing too, because the reality is believe is be alive, right? Be alive in this moment to share with other people those wonderful synchronicities. And as Suzanne says, we are limitless. And I think that's beautiful. And I added this one because this is just you, Ceci. The light of me thinks the light of you is freaking awesome. Namaste. And that is where we start to come alive, and from a place of joy is, you know, and I say this often, and many people know my story. You know, I was in a really bad place when I met Ceci. I literally did not want to live. And I think that this is really important to be honest and own those feelings, because I felt like I was stuck in an abyss that I could not find my way out of. And I think it's kind of perfect, because this is the end of Mental Health and Wellness Month. And I think that it's, to be honest, because some people see me and they're like, oh, you know, and those people who know me, the ones I show my vulnerability to, they know what kind of darkness I found myself in many a time. But I think that, you know, one of the most beautiful things that Ceci did for me, and I think that she does for many people, is that she shined her light so bright that she reminded me that I am light as well. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And since we all are connected, you know, to turn around and offer that wonderful healing space for one, but also that I'm not going to let you go. You know, I'm not going to let you go. There's no negotiating here. And then that opens you up to so much more beautiful, wonderful joy, because I think I remember telling you at one point, I didn't ever think I was going to laugh again. And I remember I said that to you at the beginning. I said, I can't imagine life without laughter. But the reality is that the light in me thinks the light in you is freaking awesome. And how amazing that is, because at the end of the day, the more of us that, you know, fucking shine, like you said before, the better the world is on this cosmic orb that we float around on, as you pointed out. So I want to ask you, you know, how you've gotten to this point on your journey where you are, where your light is really shining so beautifully bright.
Surrendering.
Uh,
Literally surrendering. And you know what happened? The first time I surrendered, I thought, well, what do I have to lose, right? If I lose everything, I'll start from scratch. I surrendered, and then so much more came to me that I thought, I'm going to surrender more often. I'm just literally going to surrender more often. And I really began to trust the divine order of the universe.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm just a cork floating on the ocean.
Oh,
you know, taking in the rays of the sun. Huh?
It sounds so lovely, because we put so much burden on ourselves to be human doings when all we have to do sometimes is just be the cork floating on the ocean, you know, after we've dived deep into the ocean, according to what you said before. But yeah.
Exactly. Well, so, you got me one of those word bracelets, and you asked me what did I want? Yeah. What did I want? What did I want on it? And I said, just be. I mean, to me, just be. That's what you inscripted on it. Just being is enough. Yeah. Right? Just being is enough. You know, if you love yourself, you know that just being is enough, because being with yourself, by yourself, and discovering more of the depths of yourself. You know, I'm talking, you know, getting into the soul part, which is who you really are. Everything else is just, you know, layers of identifications. But stripping those away, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. It's scary and it's messy, but it's fun, because you get to know who you really are. And then you know, when you get to a specific depth, it's like, you find your connection with the divine in a way that you thought you had found it before, but you never really had until you get there. And you just like, that's it. I got it.
That sounds so good right now. You know, it just, that connection too. And I think that when you have conversations with extraordinary people like you, the reminders, I think, are what show up the most. The reminder to connect to extraordinary you on the daily, and the surrender to accept yourself in that extraordinariness, you know, is such a gift to yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's such a gift to the world. You free a lot of people up that way. And I have Christina say, thank you, Ceci, for reminding us how to laugh and shine again. And, you know, I can only imagine, and Suzanne says, Meg shined her light to remind me of my own light, that now you give your light to another, and then they have such a different glow on their part of the world. And I think that is really what is going to make us all even more powerful in the end, because, you know, as my father said tonight on one of our tributes, you know, the reality is that nothing's better in life than to have that kind of cosmic friend, you know, someone who reminds you or me of the beauty that is within. You know, Ceci, I want to ask you, because my vision really with the show is to help others manifest the life of their dreams, perhaps like a cork floating on the ocean, the surrendering to the who you've always been, the reminder that when you put it on, when you strip all that you set aside, you know, there you are in all of your magnificence. I think that, a lot of the tools that we have that we can share with other people that might be something that resonates with them. Can you share with me or with everybody what kind of tools you use other than the music? Because obviously the playlist, you're going to share with us more about that, but other tools that you use so that you can become brighter in your world when maybe you're not feeling so bright.
Uh, I think that my gratitude practice
Mhm.
is number one, because when you are literally recounting to source, God, whoever, however you want to refer to the universe, and counting your blessings, and I do this on the daily. I have my coffee with God every morning. I have my cup of
Oh my
coffee.
God, coffee with God, everybody. I'm doing that tomorrow. I'm going to
Yeah,
be, I love that. That's awesome.
I go outside. I'm outside with nature, and I start thanking God for everything that I have, even if it's the same thing on the daily. I don't ask for anything unless there's something that's, I try not to ask for anything unless it's like somebody's health, right? Or, somebody
Right.
is going through something. But I usually, all I do is, is count my blessings and say thank you. And as I'm counting everything that I'm thankful for, that's it. All these other worries, it's like I've got a lot to be thankful for. There's absolutely no reason why I should be in a funk or down or anything like that. So I mean, the gratitude practice to me is huge, and chemically, literally chemically in your system, it does something where it also helps you release serotonin into your system as well, which is the happy chemical, right? It's been proven. So the gratitude practice is huge. I meditate a lot. I meditate a lot. And I want to tell you something fun. I want to share this with everybody. I just did a little talk. I was a guest on a class that I'm taking, a creative writing slash erotica, but it's not like physical sex type of thing so much. It's, and my part was using the sexual energy to manifest and to create. So this is something new that not a lot of people I think are aware of. And it was from the Chinese medicine perspective. We have these channels that bring in that sexual energy. And, people look at sexual sometimes like, oh, so taboo, and like we shouldn't talk about sex. And it's like, that's the most creative energy that exists,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you can't create another being unless you have sex. Okay. I'm sorry to tell you, right? So, surprise. But you can manifest a lot of things, and that doesn't necessarily mean going out and having sex to manifest. That's not what I'm saying. All right, girls, hold on, guys too. It's just using that energy is energy, but because sexual energy is the most creative energy, you can use that to create as well. So if anybody's on my Facebook, I have a post that I attached an article to, which is very good. If anybody wants to like read about it, because it works, and I can tell you I've used it. I wanted to see if it was true, and I used it for one very specific thing, and it manifested really fast. Really, really, really fast. So I just wanted to share that.
So you have your coffee with God, but you also are an open channel, I believe. From I don't know if this is okay to talk about, but I
You can
do.
talk about everything.
I, you know, um, I think that what you've said to me in the past is that we all can be open channels, right? We can all be those that receive. I've learned to really be paying attention to the unfolding of synchronicities that come through us, and they form, into whatever it is that messages we want to see. But I know you helped me connect to my mother after she passed away. I love this about you. I think I spoke on my last show to someone about how there was such a healing experience from that because you felt like the connection was still there. And I think that that's probably one of the most painful things, but not only did you connect me to my mom, you also connected me to a whole group of angels who are rocking the world with me now. And I know that I'm never alone. And literally, I can imagine this might sound a little nuts to some people, but for me, to think that you are walking with a whole other group of guardian angels beyond the veil is so freaking empowering that, regardless of whether or not anyone else understands that, it just makes that magic of believing even more powerful. I don't know if you want to speak to that, but I would love, because you are very gifted that way, and you are special that way. And it's something that, I completely honor with regard to how you process certain things in your life.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been intuitive since I was a little girl, right? So I've always been, it's actually been a little bit scary when you don't know what you're doing, right? I've actually tried to push that away because it's been scary. But it's, when you're meant to do something, the universe is just going to push you or shove you into that
Right.
spot where you're supposed to be. Because, like I say, I work for the universe. That's why I'm not worried about getting paid or getting sick, because I know they have insurance and I know that they're going to pay me because I work directly for the universe. That's how I see my life. That's why I'm a cork. Do with me what you want, universe. I oblige. So, but in the Mindscape course, it also allows you, it teaches you how you can connect. Also, yeah, it allows you to invite.
I'm signing up. That is for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And not in a spooky way or anything like that. Remember, it's all energy. Okay. It's just a different form of energy when a loved one passes.
Right.
And that energy still exists. That information is still there. So you can't destroy energy. So you can get in touch with it at any point in time. So it's not in a spooky type of, like, it's not like a Ouija board type of thing, like who's here. It's not a seance or anything like that. Energetically, in a nice, good, scientifically, scientifically, or scientific way, the course teaches you how to invite that energy in, right? So anybody can actually do this. The thing is, you also have to believe. You have to believe. You have to understand a little more. If it spooks people out, then they have a different perspective about it, and
I remember a time where, when I first started coming to you, one of the coolest things that happened, that I knew that there was a whole other ethereal realm with regard to how things unfold. We were in New York at the same time, and we went to see SpiderMan at the same time. And Ceci didn't know my family, and I was going with my Poppypalooza experience that weekend for the first time. And of all the seats in that theater, of all the shows on that day, we happened to show up at the same show in New York. We live in Miami. And better yet, Ceci was sitting right next to my father and my aunt. So literally, I'm looking down, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here? And I just think that those are not coincidences. Those are synchronistic experiences. When you're paying attention, clearly you're able to recognize those, kind of like a nod from the universe that, I mean, otherwise you never would have met my father. And clearly we were already having an experience of you healing with me through my mother. So it was like this incredible full circle, which was really quite beautiful, because I felt like, okay, you got me. And I think that when you feel like you're not alone in this world, it changes absolutely everything, because you say, I work for the universe, I'm going to be okay. And that's like the universe unfolds exactly as it should, got me in the palm of their hands. And one of the things that came up when you're talking about the cork was my friend Tetta said, it's as if I am a feather on God's breath, right? Just blowing me along. It's really quite beautiful. I didn't make that up. That was someone else. But I think it goes back to the who you show. I mean, the ability for you and the way your energy is so beautiful that it comes forward. I would love to see more about this Mindscape. So I encourage everybody, go on her webpage at quantumenergymed.com to check it out. This would be fascinating. I can always imagine, also the students that show up in that same space have a lot to offer each other. I know that you're leading the whole thing, but it's the whole experience of everybody who shows up in that space too that's really empowering and powerful. And it's really, I'm getting excited about it already.
The synchronicities that happen during that course are, I mean, it's just amazing. Like, we're like gobsmacked the whole time, because it's like, they're doing things, you're doing things under meditation, you're doing exercises under meditation. And then when I asked to share, it's like the same thing will come up for 3 or 4 different people, and then something else will come up and it's the synchronicities are amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, and it's beautiful, and it's just such proof and confirmation that we are all one. You
That
know,
is important because how we treat another is how we're necessarily treating ourselves as well, which, oh my God, just that in and of itself, if you don't like someone, maybe the healing is in questioning, the questioning perhaps, where is my point of union so that, I can heal those schisms or gaps in myself, which I love that. And they're saying here, Mindscape is truly a powerful tool. They've taken the class, and I would love it. So I will definitely be there.
yeah.
I want to go back to your intention at the outset of this tonight, and I want to ask you what it was and what number did you pick that would match that?
Okay, so my intention was to have fun, to make it magical, and to be present.
Awesome. And
That
what number did you pick?
I picked the number picked me actually, and it was 103.
Oh, okay.
103, and I gotta update myself here. Um, Beauty in the transformative process.
Wow.
So yes, yes.
Ah, that transformation process. And what spoke the most to you? Tell me.
The magical key. The magical key. Accept exactly where you are on your journey and acknowledge the beautiful person you have become.
Oh, that's beautiful. I
It
love
is
that.
beautiful. It is beautiful. You
Wow,
know,
that's for everybody. That's for everybody. So tell me, what were you going to say? Yes?
that this, because, it says here, acknowledge the beautiful person you have become, and we're changing on the daily,
Yeah.
right? And we're becoming somebody different on the daily. And you just keep acknowledging that beauty, and don't stop acknowledging the beauty that was from the past. Because I know that, like I said before, sometimes we can look back and say, oh, shame on me. How can I thought that way? But you don't acknowledge, don't stop acknowledging the beauty in the past, and just acknowledge your journey.
Yeah.
Be present in it and honor yourself and love yourself through it, and don't be hard on yourself. Just love yourself. Just love yourself.
I love that. And I have to tell you, one of the things that I wanted to make sure I said tonight was, when I went on the Camino, I did go to see you before I went, and it's so funny because all the magical things that show up, it was as if you were there with me. I was like, even the first guy, like I saw the mural of the magical magi, on the side. I was like, oh my God, Ceci's here. Said to me before I left, this journey is yours. This is not you about pleasing others. This journey is an individual. You're going with people, but this is an individual journey for you. And I remember when I was walking toward the end, there was a huge moment where everyone wanted us all to go in together. And it wasn't supposed to be that way. We were all not, so I was supposed to go in very individually. And I remember you saying to me, this is your journey. You can't walk it with others right now. You have to walk it alone. And I think that in many times of our life, it doesn't mean that everyone goes with us, because clearly you were there with me, talking to me, and you clearly were not in Spain when I was walking it. So this powerful notion of the becoming and the transformation, I wanted to add another little bit of a layer to that would be empowering, is that you also walk it with those who've crossed your path and touched your life. You take them with you. Mm-hmm. And I think that, along the way, we meet people that we take with us in life. And certainly you are one of those people for me. And anyone else who gets to know you, or probably has gotten to know you, know that as well, that if you cross paths with Ceci, it will be for a very, very powerfully good end. And I am so grateful to be able to call you friend, for sure. I did want to ask you, what is it that you're prioritizing in your life right now, having come out of a period of, pause, that we're all opening up again, blooming again, the process of transformation, the becoming, the beautiful flowers that we all are intended to be. How do you prioritize your life moving forward? Now that you're an author, published author, I know you have more stuff coming out too. This quantum medicine that you're working with in the Mindscape realm, and also so many different little modalities of healing, because you are a doctor of Oriental medicine as well. What is your priorities now with new eyes, perhaps in your becoming?
I'll tell you what my priorities are. I have one priority: pause more often.
Ah, I like it.
Pause more often, because I have found, I know, I mean, you know what? I don't even want to judge this pandemic. I don't want to judge it because we don't know. We don't know. And I don't mean like on a political level or a, health level or anything like that. I'm talking on a universal level. We don't know why things happen, right? In life, we have to sort of, we have to trust.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's a good thing that it happened. I'm just saying we got to let it be and do the best that we can while we're in it.
Yeah.
I have found my own joy within this pause so deep. I have been able to go so deep and find so much more of myself. You know, when they say, going in there and digging deeper
Yes.
and deeper,
I love
that
that.
it's like, uh, I just read today, like, Florida just declared, pandemic over. And like everybody's just out there. And I'm like, not yet. I'm not ready. Stay inside. I want to just have that peace and then just like, and then and I think to myself, that doesn't mean I have to go out and go back to how life was. No, I really want to pause more. I've been able to be more present with myself. I've been able to dig deeper. I've been able to do more healing. It's just, that's my priority, is to pause more, be more present.
I'm a little bit like you, whereas I'm like, oh, I can't go too fast. Not yet. I don't want to go back to that rat race, that fast, craziness
Yeah.
before where I couldn't even breathe sometimes, and I think that what you're saying is absolutely fantastic, is that we can, and I heard this word like 10 times and I didn't love the word, but we can calibrate differently, we can show up differently. And at the end of the day, we get to decide how we live our lives and whether or not we get to agree or not with what's happening outside of us, right? Or just maintain that center of like, peace, which is really ultimately the through a place of love, self-love or otherwise, come to that peace, which is what I hear you saying and Suzanne saying, dig deep and do more healing, which will serve us all in the end. So I did want to show in the stream these beautiful articles that you were talking about before that you're writing in Neighbors, South Florida edition, MD News. If you want to look at Ceci's work, go there and check it out. And then certainly her Real Women Right, Living on COVID Time, a beautiful, and how to, okay, for anybody out there who are dealing with teenagers right now, how to survive your teenager. I wish I had this because maybe I would be able to use different and better words so I can engage from a place of love with probably my most important humans, my teenagers in my life. So I want to remind everybody that these are out there as well. I also want to remind everybody about this beautiful book, The Spell, that it is for sale at all places books are sold. If you need a little magic or imagination in your life, go pick it up and take a awakening creative walk with Ceci and her words, and maybe you'll go under the spell as well of magic of believing in all things wonderful, and that place of creativity will awaken your soul as well. I definitely want to give you the final word of inspiration tonight. I think that I've been inspired by so much that you've said. Certainly, everyone, I encourage you to go out to take the Mindscape course. I mean, it sounds amazing. But before we leave and go back to our lives and are continuing our process of becoming, what inspiration will you give us tonight?
Shine your fucking light.
Yes. Oh my God. I absolutely agree. Shine your fucking light. And, as we all awaken to our own beauty and our joy and our hope and our laughter, I love to recommend a lot of amazing people that if you feel like the darkness is a little too much right now, to go reach out to. And that is Ceci. She's amazing. She will help you see that light again, and she will encourage you to keep walking. So if you find yourself in a place where you might want to align with someone who's going to grab onto your hand and bring you along, I definitely encourage you to reach out to Ceci. She has both her Instagram, CV Shaw, author,
Yes.
is her books.
TV show books.
CV Shaw Books. Also on Facebook, she's here. And like I said, her website again is quantumenergymed.com. I was blessed the day I found her. I count my blessings often because she's brought me other wonderful people into my life. And certainly she's reminded me of my own magic. So I am so grateful to her. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add tonight, other than go shine your light, but go for it. I feel like there's something you want to say, and I need to add it.
I just wanted to say the website for the book is cvshopbooks.com. And there's a book trailer on there that I haven't released, but if anybody's curious.
There you go. So go check it out because it will definitely intrigue you enough to buy this book and read it, because literally I think we need more magic in this world, and certainly Ceci is one to deliver. And Lucia is saying, never saw the pandemic from that perspective. Very true. It's true. We've changed the way we see things. The things we see change. So without further ado, I want everybody to go out into the world tonight and become the amazing, deliberate creators, shiny creators that we were all supposed to be on day one, but we forgot our shine for whatever reason. I want to thank Ceci for coming on tonight. You are amazing. You continue to be amazing, and you continue to inspire me on so many planes, whether it be this one or the ethereals as well. You've opened my mind to see the world in a very different way, and I am forever grateful to you. I want everyone to go out there and manifest their beautiful dreams. Thank you all for being here in the audience tonight and sharing with us your insights as well. It makes everything more magical. Remember, we are all connected, and together we got this. We're all here to be love to each other, and go out there and use that energy for higher powerful things, that vibration, that spirit. And also don't forget to surrender and be the cork on the ocean. I love that tonight. Thank you so much, Ceci, for everything. You're amazing.
Meg, thank you. You're amazing. Thank you for having me on. I love you and I miss you.
I do. I miss you. I can't wait to hug you for sure. So everybody, go do your thing. We love you. Manifest the life of your dreams, and we'll see you next time. Good night.